I'll get Mark Turpin to work on that.
Yeah, because we got to get that.
In the meantime, Mike, could you get us we've got a list of reservations that you were referring to. Where does all that money go?
It goes into your operating fund, because, you know, now with the AC, it costs more money to operate that building, so it goes back in general revenue.
We look at the feasibility of,
Yeah, I'll double check with him.
yes, see where we at and what the funding mechanism is there too.
Okay.
Yeah, we're making,
Yeah, well, we may not be, that's what I want to see. That's correct. All right, where we at? That's all, Alan's report, we your county coordinator report.
Yeah, before we go, apologies to Chris. Chris reached over there from ARPC, and he did early in the week, maybe last week, he sent me an email for a letter support. And I'll have Chris come up and explain to the board what the letter is for. I'm going to just send you a quick draft that he wants me to explain. And I do apologize. When we signed here this morning, I was like, uh-oh. You can go ahead, Chris.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Chris Reese. I'm the Executive Director for the Appalachia Regional Planning Council. And Michael's correct. He did get very short notice on this, and I'll explain that. We're working with Mary Gavin with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the area director, who's going to be retiring in about a year. Hopefully many of you know Mary, but she's been a champion for a program for a long time called the Community Facilities Assistance Program. And as she's getting ready to retire, she approached the Regional Planning Council and asked if we would be interested in carrying the torch. And essentially this program is providing loans and or grants for essential community facilities for a 9-county region. You know, some examples are healthcare facilities, public facilities such as town halls, courthouses, child care centers, public safety, we're talking fire trucks, police cars, educational services. It's a really good program that most counties don't really know about. She's looking for an entity to go out and do some outreach and education about this program, and then help communities prepare the applications and get the funding. So the letter of support came as part of the application process. She told us last week if you could get a letter of support from each of your 8 counties, because this is for rural counties, it would definitely help our chances for landing the grant. So I quickly emailed all of our counties, our coordinators and administrators, and asked if it was possible. I knew we were on a tight timeline. If we could get that letter of support, be happy to answer any questions you might have about this program.
I have a question. Can we get some money for that sprinkler system that we need now?
What I'm learning is essential community facilities is a very broad, there's lots of applications for it. Now, we're new to this program, we're still learning. Mary Gavin at this point is the institutional knowledge and expert on it. But when I posed the question as far as giving me some examples of what community facilities are, you know, her definition was, well, it's anything that the public can benefit from, and it's very broad.
The reason I asked because it's all,
That's on there.
that's all, it's all the convention. It's named out of convention center for the county.
Yeah, oh yeah. This is a program that this region certainly needs. A lot of the rural counties here have. She understands that, you know, the council would be a great entity to actually move forward with this if we get this grant.
Chris, I don't know if this is good or bad, but it doubles as, we have a storm, and we are the location where Duke Energy works from, throughout the county. They use that during the storm for their headquarters.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I can look into that further for you, for sure, but I can tell you, if we get the grant, it's a 3-year grant, it's about $50,000 per year, and the council has to provide a $5,000 match of local dollars. And what we would do is hire a full-time person to move throughout the region, attend meetings, to talk about this program, and help prepare applications.
I'll make a motion that we send this letter to Mary Gavin to USDA, recommending support of the Appalachia Regional Planning Council to serve as a community facility technical assistant and trainer to the county within the region, and to also do whatever I need to do.
Second. We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Massey. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks very much, especially with short notice.
Sorry it took us so long to get to you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Thank you.
All right, Mike.
All right, here we go. Item number one, speaking of TDC, Mr. Kurt Blair, your TDC administrator, stated TDC would not have a meeting in July, and he would be out of town during today's meeting. Attached is Mr. Blair's report, the TDC collections report, and the visitors tracking report. If you have any questions about any of those, send it to me. I can email it to Kurt, and he will respond. On another matter, TDC matter, at the June 20th meeting, Mr. Blair requested approval of one-year vendor contracts and sustaining grant contracts. There was a vendor contract for WOIS that was not for a year. Rather, it was for 3 months, from July 2017 to September 2017. Approval for that contract is pending. In addition, there was a sustaining grant contract for the Dixie Theater that was not included in your agenda packet. Therefore, approval for that is also pending. Are there any questions or concerns regarding these contracts you would like forward to Mr. Blair before the board considers approval? He will be at your August 15th meeting.
Real, I'll make my comments here first to start discussion, but on this WOIS contract, I think the man should get a year contract just like every other local service provider. Now, I talked to Mr. Blair on this issue, and he said 3 months was for July of 17 to through September of 17. New budget year starts October 1.
Yeah, the other contracts there were, clerk.
I ain't seen no other contract.
No, I'm sorry, not for OIS, the ones that
All
were
the other
presented
contracts
for you
for 1
when you're
year.
starting the new budget year, if I'm not.
That's correct, but they already been approved last year, so they have a contract from July to September, because their contract don't run out to no, October anyway.
Right.
So what I'd like the board to do on this one particular contract is to approve this 3-month contract up to October 1 when the new budget starts. And then I'd like for Mr. Blair to come back with a proposal to include this guy from October 1 to October 1 of next year. He gets a 1-year contract, just like our TV stations and all the other contractors. Because I feel like he's not being treated fairly. We're only talking about $3 grand in here, a little over $3 grand. It's not a $20,000 contract. And Oyster Radio does a good job of advertising. I listen to them. A lot of you Oystermen listen to them, a lot of you visitors listen to them. So
But I don't know why this was done like this.
I don't need, but anyways, I made it clear to Mr. Blair that I expect Oyster Radio to get a 1-year contract with a minimum amount that he's asking for and do these promotional spots with the TDC. So if I could get somebody to make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Massey, second by Commissioner Jones. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I'm just like you and me.
Yeah.
Let them get a year, he should get a year. And I'm with it, giving them the 3 months, that's
But that just helps him through this year, through the new budget start.
Yeah, he does a good job.
I think he does.
I do, I listen to him every
He's a
day.
local provider, and I think we'll gain some great advertising out there. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? That motion carries. Now, when you get to the Dixie Theater, or the Dixie contract sustaining grant, I question Mr. Blair as to what was submitted and what services, because the rumors are in the public that the Dixie Theater is no longer open. I don't know what is what. So I asked him what documentation was provided as to how many shows she was going to do this year, is she going to do shows this year, and there was no documentation provided. So I'd like that contract tabled until such time proper documentation is provided to the TDC and then to the board as to what we're giving Dixie Theater money for. Is she closing, is she open, and what services or performances that will be performed as she normally does when she submits to the TDC, so that public knows where the money's going and what it's being utilized for.
I make a motion, we do that, we come in, tell her, bring in a documentation. He bringing in, whatever we're gonna do.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Lockwood.
Second.
We have a second by
But,
Commissioner Massey.
yeah.
And just one quick thing, he did say that she would submit some kind of documentation before September. The new budget starts in October. So just to clarify, she is supposed to provide some documentation, but to submit this sustaining grant and be funded without any documentation of what services are provided to the visitors or the public, I don't think we need to be doing that.
And I'm hoping in your packet, I did remember, he did send me a form that all the new sustained grant people are going to submit, stating exactly what you're asking for, basically.
Well, I mean, we have to do that in order to comply with the statutory requirements of providing funding through TDC.
So you have to do
That's something
that.
that we normally do and that we have to do, so. It's nothing adversarial with the theater, it's just
No.
a matter of making sure we're doing everything properly and doing the way we should be doing.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Blair wrote me an email over the weekend, I was trying to get it, but he said something to the effect that he understood there was some problems with the Dixie Theater's contract, and that she had not submitted a schedule of event,
Right.
and that she was in the making of doing a schedule of event,
Right.
and as soon as he got those, that he would make it possible to get to the board.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah,
what he told
and
me.
it's,
I also have a question, Mr. Chairman. And I know we've already talked about a lot of these contracts, but in all these sustaining grants, is there a sunset period, or are they supposed to sustain for 5 years? And-
No, they have to reapply every year.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm sorry. Let me ask it a different way. There are more than 10 entities in the county that could benefit from the sustaining grant. If after 5 years of receiving a sustaining grant, that entity is not being sustained, is there an opportunity for somebody else that's not been receiving to apply? That's, is there a sunset period on, we're gonna do this for 10 years, and if it's not sustaining after 10 years, then maybe we need to,
Okay, so
I'm just asking the
in other
question.
words, after some.
there's entities coming in and out all the time.
okay.
It's not just those, it's it's just like the lighthouse, the St. George Island Lighthouse. We're at a point where we said, you've got this much money
Mhm.
and you're sustainable. Tell me why we need to still sustain you. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was-
That's what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's all.
it gets done like that.
Yes, ma'am, that's what I'm doing, thank you very much.
And, yeah, we do that.
Okay.
Sustaining grant is supposed to help them remain or gather and become economically sustainable on their own.
Right.
It's not supposed to be
Ongoing.
ongoing
That was my question.
subsidy to keep a private business going.
Well, and then some of them ceases to be, and then that moves the slots up for other entities to come in there and apply and all, but it's all the time changing.
And they also, as we stated earlier, that they have to come in and provide documentation as to what the people receive for the dollar, those tourist dollars. We have to have documentation for that.
Well, Mr. Tim, I want not only the people, I want them all to have that documentation in there, what we doing. They
Yeah,
getting that money?
that's why I think that form that I have there, and what they're all gonna be required to complete, hence, send forth.
I think they already are.
Yeah.
They are.
They are.
Well, maybe the theater is in transition or something, I'm not sure, but we'll try to get more information on it. We do have a motion and a second on the floor.
Yes.
Any further discussion? No, absolutely not. We do have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor? All opposed? Motion carried.
Item number 2, we've talked about quite a bit, but this is the part that I need done. Staff received an invitation for the commissioners to attend Florida State County Commissioners White House Conference. This invitation was from Mr. Billy Kirkland, the Deputy Director of Intergovernmental Affairs. And I quote from the invitation, "The purpose of this event is to develop a working relationship between the White House, federal agencies, and the county commissioners of Florida. This event is scheduled for July 27th in the Eisenhower Executive Office building, which is in the White House complex. Board action to approve travel and expenses for board members that are planning to attend."
I make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Massey, second by Commissioner Lockley. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
And I'll get with each of you later on, we'll set that up so I can work in those arrangements this afternoon. Item number 3, the July 5th meeting, the board approved scheduling a public hearing to consider an ordinance establishing a 6-month moratorium on all development and all development applications in the commercial district on St. George Island between 3rd Street East and 3rd Street West. At the same meeting, the board also adopted a zoning in progress resolution instructing its planning and zoning staff not to accept any new development applications for development in an area between 3rd Street East and 3rd Street West. It is my understanding that the adoption of this resolution included development applications that had been filed or intended to be filed. Was this the board intention? I just need to make sure we're all on the same page with this, because a question came up as to whether if they had already turned in an application or was, you know, in the office, in the queue, whatever. And my understanding was anything that was turned in, sitting there at the desk to be processed, or brand new hadn't walked in yet, it all was to be put on hold until we move forward.
Yeah, but that was my understanding.
That's what the zoning in progress was for.
That's what I thought, okay.
Well, Mr. Theory, take on that.
Well, it's zoning in progress or planning pause, you can call it either one. That's really not what Mr. Theriak and I are thinking. The recommendation to the board was to have a pause on all development applications, either those that have been filed or those that might be filed in the future within that geographic area on St. George Island. But a question has arisen, I guess, to Mr. Morone, questioning whether applications that had already been filed were exempted from that planning pause. It was his understanding, and my understanding as staff and the attorney, that from the discussion at the last meeting, it was the board's intention that you were going to have a planning pause on all development applications, those that were already on file or those that might be filed in the future for that geographic area. But we have to come back to you. You're the legislative body, and it's your intentions that control here. But that was our understanding. That is how we implemented your decision.
Yes, I want to make sure I did the right thing, but I'm not.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So, let me make sure I'm understanding.
Yes.
On the same page. If an item is yet to be heard by P&Z, can they, what's the timeline they can drop their application? They can drop it the same day and say, I'm not ready. If something's coming to the P&Z, it's already been filed, the county staff has it. They've decided that they either want to redo their plan or change something, and they call and say, I want to cancel it.
That's happened the morning of.
Okay.
Before the
Yes,
PSC.
So,
As far as the applicant taking an action to pull their application, they could do that at any point. I mean, they could come to the Planning and Zoning Commission and get a recommendation for approval. They could come before you, and during your meeting, they could pull their application at that point. But that's a different scenario than what we're talking about. This is not the applicant removing an item from the P&Z agenda.
okay.
This was an effect from your planning pause, the decision that you made in the last meeting, the zoning in progress, which could also be called a planning pause, where you said, you directed planning and zoning staff not to accept or process development applications. And the question has arisen whether you intended for your action to pause all consideration of applications that had already been filed with planning and zoning, or was the board's intention simply to pause all applications that had not yet been filed? Mike and I discussed it, and I went back and listened to the tape. It was my understanding of the board's action, and Mr. Marone's understanding of the board's action last meeting, that your planning pause applied to all development applications, whether they were already filed and received with planning and zoning, or if they were going to be filed in the future within that geographic area that was described on St. George Island. But we have to bring this, since the issue has arisen, questioning what the board's intention was, we have to come back to you as the legislative body, and you tell us what your intentions were for the record. So that's what Mike's asking for now, is just a clarification of what your intentions were. What was the planning pause to apply only to applications that had not yet been filed, or all development applications whether they had already been filed or were to be filed within the geographic area discussed on St. George Island?
And I understood all, but I'm kind of new at this.
Well, that's what we're asking for, is what the board's understanding.
Who made the motion in a second? Because it was my understanding it was all.
Well, I know it was a 4-1 vote, Commissioner Lockton voted against it, but I can't tell you at the moment who made the motion in a second.
The motion was made by Commissioner Jones, seconded by Commissioner Massey, to to impose the zoning in progress motion, which I referred to here also this morning, the planning pause.
So what action are we looking for here today?
I'm looking for, on the record, a clarification from the board, what your intentions were. Did you intend to apply the planning pause to all development applications, which would include all applications that have been received at planning and zoning, as well as any future applications that could be submitted?
And Commissioner Jones made the motion.
Commissioner Jones made the motion, and it was seconded by Commissioner Massey.
He stated publicly he thought it was for all. Mr. Massey, you made the second.
You thought it
Your
was wrong.
understanding
If I was
was for
all,
all.
yeah.
Mr.
And I thought it was
Sanders,
all.
so there you go.
All right, very good. Thank you.
What I needed, thank you.
I vote
And clarification.
Yes. A lot of people are against. Okay, item number 4, board action to authorize advertising and notice to receive sealed bids for the Ellis Van Vliet project. This is a county incentive grant program, also known as SIGD, that will consist of resurfacing, striping, signs, and grassing approximately 0.59 miles along Ellis Van Vliet and the 17th Street in Apalachicola.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Lockley, second by Commissioner Sanders. Any further discussion?
I have some. Is there any, infrastructure that, can we check with City of Appalachia, come and check with us, make sure they don't
Oh,
do
so they don't-
anything on the
okay, I
road
will.
before we pay them?
I'll let them know. Well, we're way off from schedule, we're just advertising,
Either way.
but I will.
Either way, they need to know.
I'll make that note.
We could even cut in the road.
Yes, sir, that's exactly what the commission's heading after.
We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries.
Board action to sign a professional engineering service fee proposal with Bronzak, Barlow, and Schuler. This is a $6,000 proposal, and it's for the interior renovation project at the Public Defender's Office.
That's to put a bathroom
The
in
bathroom,
there.
yeah.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Lockley. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries.
Board action to authorize the chairman's signature on a resolution for a local program agreement, the LAP agreement, between Florida Department of Transportation and Franklin County. This is a $405,480, $480 LAP project, and it's to construct a sidewalk along County Road 65, which is also known as Bay Shore Drive, from State Road 300, Island Drive to Hickory Dip. As the board knows, every LAP project with FDOT requires a signed resolution.
Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Lockley. Any further discussion?
I have something, Mr. Chairman. As they're doing that and in conjunction with it, whichever way we need to do it, that is a racetrack, that road. I don't know if something needs to be studied for as traffic, or we just continue to try to change speed limits, but I don't know, especially with them having the sidewalk, that's something that we might need to consider. I just want to bring that up while we're here talking about it.